as everyone kind of looks for that one bigger job to help
Yeah.
propel the business like that, were you think that being maybe on Yelp or having a nice website, or like how did they find you? Do you think, or was it just
Yeah. I mean,
networking?
most people that I talk to find us through our website. Ultimately, I personally don't like our there's and maybe you're like this too. Like I constantly always want to redo my website. Like it's
Yeah,
never. I look at it all the time. I hate it. Like I always hate it. But I think that like when you're constantly working on something too, there's an element of it that must be like decent. Yeah, I mean we get a lot of stuff that is local. And then referrals or people who sometimes you'll work with a local company and the person who orders from you they move to another company and then hopefully you stick with them and you can get the new company and kind of keep the old company. So I think I still think word of mouth is the best way. And I could look through and the bulk of our customers really are like someone who kind of ordered who also knows someone else who ordered or whatever. So I mean we definitely try and when somebody orders from us, like kind of see who they're friends with and get referrals.
how do you do that? Like you just cruise on their LinkedIn, or
Yeah, we do some of that, or like just having a conversation, like like if you order shirts, and maybe like hey, what other sort of like developer? Do you have any developer friends who order? Stuff like that, and kind of like typically people don't mind giving up like like a friend of theirs or something, and sometimes that really pays off. Or you also kind of learn not to scoff at smaller jobs too, because we had a job a long time ago that was a pretty small order, maybe like 20 or 25 shirts.
mm-hmm.
And then the guy who ordered, his wife ended up being like a designer or doing, I think she did branding, but she was connected with like Redbox.
Mm-hmm.
And so like this guy ordered a small batch of shirts, but then his wife, like something happened, they needed a new vendor, and we got like a 4,000 shirt order from his wife, like maybe a month later or something. So it's just,
Sure.
you never really know like who knows who. Or but I'll say like we don't seek out the like big jobs like that. And I know a lot of people ask me like how do you get those bigger jobs, and typically those come more randomly. What we do seek out are kind of like your smaller, like a 50 shirt job is really that's the kind of stuff that I like. I think the smaller companies or companies that are kind of still like a little bit younger and starting to order their merch, and they're still like excited to see their logo and everything, like that's the kind of stuff that I really like going after. So
Gotcha. And how do you really specifically go after that? Is it still, letting a person that gets a job done with you say, hey, if you have any friends, or is there other ways that you do that too?
yeah, I mean that's the bulk of it. I mean I do a little bit of like just straight up cold calling, cold calling or cold emails and things like that, but not a lot of it. I don't typically get a big response to that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times the best way is to email somebody at least and say, hey, I was referred by, your buddy over here. So, and even then, you get blown off. So,
Sure.
I think you just get used to it.
Yeah, just keep pushing forward. Would you say the majority of your jobs are more word of mouth, or is there other marketing channels that you guys tap?
It really is mostly word of mouth. I mean, we do some AdWords, we do some Facebook ads, like, nothing crazy though. We kind of don't have a big like advertising budget.
Well, I know Facebook, like, are you guys targeting people in the area? Is it location
Yeah,
based, or?
I try and stay local. I used to not like I used to really try and like seek out like a lot of other cities, but I think that it's such a big industry, and I mean there's so many printers everywhere, and so kind of I've had that realization. I think where like you could drive down like almost any street, especially in like a city like Chicago or like a bigger area. You start to like drive down the street, and it's real easy to spot. There's businesses everywhere. I could go on like a 5-minute drive and be like, well, if I could just get like one of these customers, that'd be awesome. And so we've kind of shifted everything to being pretty local and focusing on, there's plenty of businesses in the Chicagoland area to sort of just focus on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So dialing some of those Facebook ads to be more local, and then does Google Ads do those? Are you driving those locally, or are those based on search terms?
Yeah, that's more search terms, and honestly, I don't handle that part of things. I do the Facebook ads, but I have someone else who handles our Google stuff. So I'm
Gotcha.
not. Yeah.
Okay, cool.